We're talking about grief and how to heal after losing someone you love. Shawn Brown is the CEO and founder of the bakery called Cheesecaked. She found baking to be therapeutic after her 2-month-old son was killed in a crash with a drunk driver. And joining the conversation now is certified grief counselor, Dr. Sonya Strider. Dr. Strider, I know you've had a series of very painful losses in recent years that led to the work that you do. First, just tell us about what happened.
Yeah, so my mother went to the hospital for very routine knee replacement surgery, right? Mm-hmm. She was fine when she went in, and 2 weeks later, she was dead. She got sepsis, and they couldn't control the infection. It was devastating.
Of course.
It was, unexpected, but it happened.
Right.
And then after that, maybe 4 months later, my aunt passed away, and then my father died 4 months after that. So between my mother and my father, there were 9 months. My father just had a massive heart attack on his way out for his daily walk, actually. So it was very unexpected because I don't know how long I thought he was going to live, but, I thought he was going to live forever.
Right.
Yeah, so that was very unexpected. And I tried to find ways to, deal with my grief.
What was the first thing you did to deal with your
grief? So
grief?
the first thing I did was I sought counseling, and I did that for a little while, and but I'm like the strong one. I don't need that, and I got that part right.
What we used to say, we don't need.
We don't need that, right?
We don't need all that,
But then I found that I wasn't, and so I embraced that, and but after that I thought, if I feel like this, there's some other people and other women, particularly, Mother's Day and those times were very hard.
The holidays.
And so, I was like, I want to help other women particularly get through.
Right.
And so that's what I did.
Yeah. And I know that part of this concept of I'm so strong, I don't need it, that's such a false narrative.
Oh, so
you
false.
can be strong and need therapy. That therapy is what's going to keep you.
Ones need it. Yes.
Right. How important is that in terms of the conversations of trying to convince someone just out the gate, listen, this is what you need to do, especially in situations like, nah, this isn't working.
And what I really try to do is try to bring it to people as a conversation. I'm not trying to fix you, right? Because I can't fix you. But what I can do is give you some tools and some tips to help you, because when grief hits you, it hits you hard.
Yeah.
So I can give you some tools so that you can hit it harder. And so that's what I do. I don't try to fix you, because that leaves people feeling, like it must be something wrong with me. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm just trying to help you get some tools to be able to move along.
Right. For you, do you find that most people, you talked about how hard it was. I mean, you tried it and you're like, this just isn't working. What is it? Is it just not ready to talk about it? It feels like it's just too raw. It feels like it's just talking about it in vain. What are the reasons why people pull out?
Sometimes I think that's it, right? Because you have to come to that at your own time and in your own frame. So there's that acceptance piece, right? So it's like when you finally accept it, and then when you finally accept that, I'm really feeling a way that I have no control over, or I'm really feeling like I'm sliding downhill, then, you need to seek help.
Yeah. And Shawn, we should point out, you did eventually find a way to connect with the concept of therapy. Doc, I know you ended up starting a foundation in honor of your mother.
I did, yeah. So I started, it's called Jenny's Porch Foundation. One of the things about my mother was she loved her front porch. So it was her coveted space, right?
Yeah.
So all of her friends came there, they talked about their problems. So the porch stands for the place of refuge, comfort, and hope. So I started that just as a way to help women.
Yeah.
So we have a brunch for women who've lost their mothers or who've lost children. And we do it right around Mother's Day. So that's a way to kind of help them work in.
Creates a safe space. And so many times that's what you need.
Yes.
You talk about this having been more than 20 years ago, and you still sometimes just need a safe space to cry, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you do on the days when it hurts more than usual. You feel like, I'm good. And then one day it just hits. That happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine are usually the anniversary days. And so he just had a birthday. I don't know yet.
Right.
But in therapy, I learned that I can celebrate those days and do what I need to do to feel better. And it doesn't have to look right to everyone else. And it doesn't have to feel good to them. It's what I need.
Yeah.
I usually just take what I call a knee. I just take a day and I just take a knee and do however I feel, if it's just driving or just to park or just to be with myself.
And Jacory would be how old now?
30.
30 years
Yes.
old. That was a milestone. So surely that hits a little differently. Let's talk about the things that people often struggle with in terms of wanting to be helpful. Don't know what to say.
Most of the time they don't know what to say. People want to help you, but they don't know what to say. So they, that they're in a better place. Says who?
Don't say that.
Right? Says who? Those kinds of things. Oh, well, it's better now than later. I mean, just all kinds of things that people say, well, they were sick.
And isn't that doesn't make it better. Right. Is it just quickly here, isn't it sometimes just better to say nothing. And just be present?
Yes.
Yeah, I did a Facebook post just after my mom passed, and I put down a few things that people can do. You can hug me. You can hug me.
That's it. We're going to pause the conversation right here and keep this going. When we return, Dr. Strider is going to share some other ways that we can help others cope with loss and what to do when we find ourselves in a situation where it just hurts. We'll be right back.